Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. That was smooth, kid.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. There you are. I was hoping you'd let me fade it out, but that'll work. That'll work.
That's right. Oh, it wasn't all the way out? I didn't have headphones on, sorry.
No, I was just starting to fade it out, and you just went, stop.
Yeah, well.
Yeah. It was a tough decision. Where Troy's going to sit for the show when he's not here is really a difficult decision.
It is. You got to be there to start it, but this is much easier for the conversation.
Yes.
So, yeah. Obviously, we're missing the Eases today.
Yeah, he's taking a much-deserved week off.
Good for him.
I think he was talking about camping.
Good for him.
Yeah, but I said, well, if you change your mind and you want to come in for whatever, just let me know. And he said, maybe Wednesday. I was like, okay, whatever. So we'll know more on Wednesday.
Okie dokie.
Perhaps. But yeah, it's been fun having him over.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, my God, dude. I'm so bummed. I almost wanted to file a grievance, but I think I already grieved this.
Okay.
It's with insurance companies and this global referral you need to go get anything done.
Yep.
Do you have that?
I've been a victim of the referral issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When did that start? It seems like just a few years ago. Like all of a sudden out of nowhere, you need to.
Having a referral is a standard thing. But why and how it takes so long, what the process is, I don't know. Yeah, I've had to reschedule MRIs because of it.
Dude, I got into the pain management. Apparently you have to go to pain management specialists. Like doctors don't want to give you anything or deal with any of that stuff. So they make you go to this pain management stuff. And it's like, oh, you have to go see this doctor. I'm like, okay, great. I got the MRI scheduled for my back. It turns out I have a herniated disc.
Remember the good old days when it was just on a piece of paper and you could just walk in and
hand it to them?
I'm supposed to be here.
And so I end up getting a hold of this doctor, this pain management doctor, and they're like, we can see you on Monday at 2, which is today. I'm like, amazing. Because this is like Thursday or Friday last week.
Yeah.
When I called them and they could get me in Monday, I was like, fuck, amazing. I'm dying here. This is the worst pain ever. And it's just unrelenting. And so I show up there today and they're like, yeah, your appointment was canceled. I was like, what?
That's probably the Monday appointment, I guess. But they'll call the night before and be like, "Hey, we
apparently
still
they
haven't."
did.
Or maybe, they might have called Friday.
They claim they called me and left a message. I didn't see it, but I've got this weird thing going on my phone where I'm getting messages 8 hours after someone left it.
You're just a hot mess over here,
dude. It's crazy. Mike Massey called me this morning, and I saw that he had called. I'd missed his call, and then at 3:00 this afternoon, bloop, I got a voicemail from him.
Odd.
Yeah. So I don't know if I got a message from them. I usually don't answer the phone when I don't recognize numbers.
Yeah.
So, I am a hot mess, and it's just driving me nuts. So now it's going to take 3 days to get a fucking global referral. What is this? Why can't a doctor just go, yeah, I'm the referral. Well, I want you to go see the pain management. Why does Blue Cross of Michigan have to fucking have it?
They have to approve it. They have to say
everything.
I know. They have to say that it's okay, and we think that it's, even if your doctor says that he prescribes it, that's what is best for you, they can still go,
sexist,
nah,
it's a she doctor.
Whatever. They can still go, yeah, we don't agree. We're not going to cover it.
So if you have a herniated disc, they could just go, nah.
Well, or maybe that doctor's not in their network. There's other factors involved in it like that.
Yeah.
But
it's killing me.
Yeah, it sucks.
It sucks.
Yeah, I've been through every aspect of it.
Yeah,
I was going to have one of the surgeries that I was going to have. Even when I was talking about having the fusion, actually, when I was going to do it, there's two parts. There was the spinal specialist guy, and then there's the regular dude that just cuts you open and moves the shit out of the way so he can get to the spine, right? Because you go through the front. And then he goes in.
See the one that said you were too fat?
Well, that was the surgeon that said, you might be too fat.
I think you look great, by the way. Fuck that guy.
I appreciate it.
Fuck that guy, honestly.
But which I did. I met with him, and he was like, no, you're fine. So I felt a little better about it. But I come to find out that the surgeon, the first guy, the back guy, was in my network. And then the dude that he is partnered with, the move the fat out of the way doctor, wasn't in my network. So they're going to be like, I was going to have to pay like all this extra for this guy to move my junk out of the way so he could come in and do it. I was like, fuck this, guys. Just get your shit together.
And by the way, why do you need us middlemen to deal with your global referral bullshit?
Yeah.
Can't you handle this between offices? This is what you do for a living.
You
right?
would think it would. I mean,
I talk shit for a living on a microphone. Why do I have to, like, they're like, well, no. I'm like, well, no one told me this. And so you scheduled an appointment. Would have been nice then if you went, by the way, we're not going to do shit for you. So you need to talk to your primary care physician, who you'll never get on the phone. You need to call her and get the global fucking referral process going so that we can even see you on Monday. Simple.
Well, that should already be done behind the scenes.
Right.
I think that's
Well,
you shouldn't have to do anything
they need me to
with
do
that.
it. They need me to do it. That's
Well,
what she specifically said.
well, right,
she was a very
because-
sweet woman too, but
Because you don't have it yet. So you need to make a call and say, "Where's my referral?"
yeah, why? Why? Leave me out of this process.
Well,
Why
you
can't-
don't have to. You can wait and see how long it takes.
But no, but it sounds like without me calling my primary.
Oh, they probably
They're-
could. They just don't want to.
Is that it? They're just lazy.
They probably could.
Assholes.
They probably could, I'm sure, make that call and find out where it is, but they would just rather tell you to do it. Actually,
No.
I can almost guarantee that they
No,
could definitely
dude,
find that out.
She told me nothing has been started. That's why it's another 3 days.
Oh, it hasn't even been.
Well, I from the parking lot at the pain management doctor, I called my primary. Was on the on hold for 8 minutes. I thought she was getting it handled right then. I was
would
like,
hope.
can I walk back right back in with this thing? And no. She's like, yeah, I'm up to 72 hours. I'm like,
Somebody must have dropped the
really?
ball.
In the digital age we're living in, why does a bank need 3 days to clear a fucking check?
Wait, we sending a fax here?
Yeah, what are we doing? Carrier pigeons?
Yeah.
Like, seriously, you can't do better than 3 days so I can make it a scheduled appointment?
You wonder why people have no faith in the healthcare
It's
system
just
these days.
unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's driving me nuts because it's like, I get it. Everybody our age has back problems. They're probably going to have them for life. But some are worse than others, and this sucks.
Oh, yeah.
This
Yeah.
hurts like hell. Like,
Definitely.
Tooch has the same injury as me right now. He's at a level 3 pain. I'm at a level, fuck pain.
He's been managing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been doing
And it's all different. I mean, there's
massage
how
chiropractor.
how your disc is bulging and how the nerves are affected are
Yeah.
different. That's a very generic term, a
Right.
bulging disc or
Plus, he's
herniated
got
disc
core
or whatever.
strength
Yeah, that's
that
a big-
I don't have.
that's
He's
big
got a lot
difference.
of core strength.
Well, speaking of which, it was funny. We talked about how you can be in great shape, but if you do something you haven't done in a long time, you can suck at it.
Yeah.
The show last week. Yeah, I found that out the hard way with the stand-up jet
You
ski
fucked around and found out?
this weekend. Yeah, first of all, I killed it. I mean, I was slamming it out there, but oh my god, I'm
This
paying
is
the
an
price.
old jet ski, too. This isn't like...
Yeah, no, they don't even make stand-ups anymore. This
Yeah.
is the old school stand-up 650. Yeah,
Yeah.
This is classic.
Yeah.
And I
Body
like I
glove
said,
sticker on it and
Yeah,
shit.
it was exactly. There's
Yeah.
a body glove. There's a no bozos, no fat chick sticker. All original, man.
Nice.
Yeah.
Can you do
but
that dive like underwater shit?
I ain't fuck around with it. Actually, I did it once accidentally, but I used to be pretty good at it. We used to throw that thing around pretty good, but
They're
it's been
not
a long
easy to
time.
ride.
No, and I generally ride it like once a year now. So
Yeah.
when it's like clear, I mean like calm glass, I can fuck around a little bit. But Saturday it was pretty busy out there. It was pretty rough.
Yeah.
A couple times through the middle. So yeah. I felt like I had a Charlie horse after I got off, and it only got worse from there. I have just my whole body.
Just from bouncing on the water like that, you think?
I mean, my both my thighs are killing. Just
Yeah.
I mean, just the stand up, the balance, the everything to go along with it, like
Yeah.
all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Just
haven't done
wrecking-
that for a minute.
Yeah. I love that. What is it? The 2-seater jet ski you have up there?
Yeah, yeah.
That one's fucking badass, man. That thing hauls ass. But I'm still mad at it because, I don't know, the day before we went up north to go ride mini bikes and
Yeah.
fucking motorcycles and all that stuff, I bought a brand new pair of fucking dope Ray-Bans sunglasses. And I took those things out on the lake and I went,
Womp, womp.
"Womp, womp," and I looked back and they went, phew,
Gone.
right off my head, gone. And it was like down to the bottom of the fucking lake. I was like, I didn't even get 24 hours with these things.
Sky had the exact same
Gone.
thing. We're dragging some of the kids around the tube, and she was sitting up front. She's looking back, and she had these big whatevers on.
Yeah.
Boom, took them. By the time I saw it, they were long gone. But
Yeah.
like fuck around and find out, man.
Yeah.
you leave that stuff in there. That same Sea-Doo, I was just out ripping around in that one, and some kid comes up, and this kid's like 16, and he's on what looks to be a bigger, newer jet, Sea-Doo, whatever jet ski.
Yeah.
But I don't know who this kid is. And he comes up, and what I realize is that the younger cousins have been up there for days. And so I think he thought I recognized the Sea Dude and thought I was one of them. So he came up and he was saying something. I'm like, what? He was like, "Going race again or something?" I was like,
Again?
like, I don't know what. Like, and all of a sudden he was like next to me and he was like, 3, 2, 1. And I was like, "Oh, we're racing." I was like, "Wow, all right." So I beat him, right? But see the little
You did?
Well, yeah. The little key thing, it's like a little pressure, just snaps on for the starter. And then you're supposed to like clip it in case you fall off. It pulls off that little thing.
Yep.
Well, but it's like wearing out. So I'm ripping across the lake. Boom. It just dies. This thing like pops off, right? Because it's like loose. Like, oh, man. So the kid comes up. But I beat him, right? He had a little head start and I'd passed him.
Would he agree? Would he confirm this story that you beat him?
So here, I continue. So he comes up and I'm like, oh, the thing fell off, whatever. And I wasn't really even trying to race the kid, whatever. I was going back towards the thing. And I'm like, oh, okay. He's like, well, you want to go again? I was like, all right. Well, now you're not even going to get a head start this time, bitch, right? So he's like, okay, ready? 3, 2, 1, bow, take off. I beat him clear as day. I pull right. I get to the cottage. We're all the way at the end of the lake. I come ripping right in there. I couldn't even see him. I don't even know where he was at. So I come pulling in, and I jump off, and I don't even look. I thought he's gone. I just go pulling the thing up on the beach, and my cousin and his wife are sitting there, and they go, "Are you going to take that?" I was like, "What?" They're like, "The kid was talking shit." I'm like, "What?" They're like, "Yeah." He said he was just sitting there circling out by the dock going that he says he won that race. I had no idea. I hadn't heard it or anything. And by the time I turned around, he had left. I was like, "Oh, fuck you." Oh, I pull it right back out, ripped all the way down to the far end of the Bay of Speed, found him, and I was like, "Let's settle this. End to end right now.
Good
Let's
for
go."
you.
He
Did you smoke him?
halfway through across the lake, he stopped.
Why would he think?
Because exactly. I don't know. We had a little conversation. I was like, "So who's this douche on the jet ski?" I started asking them, and they were like, "Oh, that fucking dude's weirdo, man. Like, I don't know. He was hanging around yesterday, man. I don't know what his deal is." I'm like, "All right, well, I put him in his place, so I'm undefeated."
Good.
Yeah, and then I decided to go with the stand up, and I probably should have just stayed on the sit down.
Yeah. Walking, we look like a couple AARP guys walking around. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It seriously is.
We look good sitting here, though.
Yeah, sitting here, it's fine. And then we got to turn off the cameras so you don't see us get up like Grandpa Simpson,
Problem is, I can't now. I have to go to turn off the cameras.
Yeah, right? God, we're a mess.
Oh, yeah.
It's not good. Maybe we should get a hold of this new synthetic opioid that they found in Colorado.
Okay, tell me more.
Yeah, it's 10 to 15 times stronger than fentanyl.
Wait, stronger than fentanyl, which is 100 times or whatever.
1,000 times stronger than morphine.
My goodness. Okay.
And which I don't know what that means. They're like, "Oh yeah, you even come in contact with this, you're dead." And I'm like,
but what?
Fentanyl's been around for a long time. I used to get liquid fentanyl patches.
Yeah, I do have questions about all that stuff. Like, and everything is relative. Like, a gram of this is not the same as a gram of that.
Right.
Based on how strong it is. But that's why there's different, milligram dosages for all different things. So if this stuff's so great, even if this fentanyl is so great, like, first of all, is it that cheap? Is it just because it's synthetic? It's just you can just make it out of bullshit like
China.
Like
they're making
meth?
it in China and sending it to Mexico, and then Mexican cartels are bringing it across
Gotcha.
state lines, which is why it's so dangerous to have this wide open border like we do right now. But if you're coming up with the numbers, so it's much stronger than fentanyl. The sheriff's office issued a public alert warning residents the drug had been discovered in the state. The drug N-pyroledinoetinetazine, also known by the street name Pyro.
I was going to say, they've got to have a street name for it. Pyro.
Pyro,
Okay.
Pyro,
All right.
is 1,000 to 1,500 times more powerful than morphine. Okay, that seems like a really big window. If you're going to declare something is 1,000 times more powerful than morphine, but it might be 1,500 times more powerful. Like, okay, who's doing the math on that?
Well, but if it's a synthetic, there might be a pretty good variable to that.
You
It's
think?
not, well, I'm sure not everybody's, like if we learned anything from Breaking Bad, there's inconsistencies with manufacturing.
Yeah, that's true.
Not all product is created equal.
Yeah.
So the good stuff's probably 1,500 times, and the the
Yeah.
hack shit is only 1,000.
When you're getting into that 98%
Anywhere,
purity,
but anywhere
99%.
Right.
Yeah, I wonder if anyone. I think people have tried to do Breaking Bad.
Have they?
Yeah, I thought I read a story not long ago about some chemist that was trying to, be an actual Walter White
Okay.
or something like that. I wonder, we know scientists.
Give it a shot.
Yeah.
If I do it, I'm gonna do the chili pea.
Oh, it's not bad.
A little Salt Bay, a little chili powder on the
That
end.
was hilarious. That was his recipe. A little splash of chili powder. I hear that drug's amazing. I've never done that.
Meth?
Yeah.
Never done it. No
The
interest
pictures
whatsoever.
The pictures don't look good.
No, the afters, especially
Yeah.
No.
And you can take an absolute 9 and turn her into a 2.
Yeah, real quick.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I've heard people. I know people. Well, the Warden's families. They've get down in that Arizona area. and
Sure.
It's wild, wild west. So there's definitely been people around that mix that
Yep.
were all methed up and methed up. It sounds like I fucking tripped over my word saying messed up.
exactly.
Oh, methed up.
Yeah.
And she was telling me, oh yeah, they fucking love it. It's the fucking greatest feeling in the world. I'm like, really?
Okay.
Crack doesn't look fun to me.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like you see people on crack, like heroin. I get it.
That one sucked too.
Yeah. Opiates, I totally get.
Yeah.
If you want to just kind of melt into the couch, but fentanyl, this shit is. I don't know. They're talking about like police guys have died just being in the room with it or something. I'm like, sure they weren't just doing fucking fentanyl?
Yeah. Right. What is this stuff?
Oh shit. Yeah.
Right? Do the old standard. Take out the knife, slit the bag, dip the finger in. The standard. Oh yeah. Book 'em, Dano.
Yeah. No, I've heard stories about if you're buying this stuff on the street at all, 100% of it has fentanyl in it.
I believe it.
I don't know that that's true.
It's our own supply chain issues. The only thing that's open is the southern borders. So
Right.
We get what we get.
We get.
Right.
So fentanyl is only 100 times more powerful than morphine.
Okay.
So
that makes this
crazy. So if you take morphine and you take a pill and you go, oh, man, I got a little buzz there. If you took fucking fentanyl amount, it would be 100 times more than that. And now pyro is 1,000 times.
Yeah.
That's
apparently.
madness.
It is. But again, I don't know what that comparison really is.
Yeah.
If morphine is cut with other things so that it's tolerable, but maybe in its purest form I don't really know. So, and just to say that it's more powerful, right? So if you had to, like
Equal quantity.
even think about it like weed,
Yeah.
like the dirt weed we grew up smoking was still weed. You can smoke a whole joint and just get a headache.
Yeah.
And then now you get this one hit and quit shit.
Yeah.
It's still weed, it's still
Yeah.
THC, but it's completely different.
But would you say it's 100 times
No,
more
not
powerful?
necessarily, but
I don't know. So the sheriff's office said the small light blue pills with dark blue flakes.
oh boy, don't start throwing the blue pills around. That could be really dangerous.
Yeah.
Especially mark those.
Yeah.
Them old guys just shitting out.
Yep. They're marked with an M on one side and 30 on the other. The opiate is known as pyro. Laboratories have determined the pills are more potent than fentanyl. Please use caution if you encounter this opiate and notify law enforcement immediately.
Well, what is the? I mean, even what's the point of? I understand fentanyl, whatever, has a place. Does this pyro have a place in medical world?
It doesn't sound like it.
Why,
I don't know.
Even if that's why are you bothering making it a pill and stamping M and 30 on it? Why isn't it just coming in like kilo bags or
Right,
you know what I
right.
mean? What's the point of making it into a pill?
Yeah.
I don't understand. Is there
Well,
a real use for it
I don't know.
somewhere?
There's probably another drug that has an M30 mark on it.
And they're just trying to masquerade it? Is that?
Yeah, because if you think you're buying Vicodin, they'll come with depending on who is producing it,
Yeah.
they might have their name on it and then the size, this is a 10 milligram 325 or whatever the sizes come in. So if they're trying to mimic something like that, unless this is just like totally new and who knows what it stands for. Small quantities of the drug had previously been discovered in Denver. Our narcotics investigators tell us anecdotally that minimal amounts of this synthetic opiate have been found in Denver. Thus far, however, one recovery was related to an overdose death that is under investigation. So it's certainly a concern to us. Within a month, it will make its way down the I-70 corridor. They worry that this thing's going to spread everywhere.
Here's the problem.
Okay. What is that?
It says that the blue
30
pill
M.
with an M, with the M on
There you
it
go.
is an oxy.
Oxy.
That is terrifying.
Yeah.
Yep. It
So
says
you
it's a
think you're
30
getting
30 milligram oxy is what it
think-
says that is.
Yeah, you think you're getting a 30 milligram oxy, and
Yeah.
instead you're getting something that would kill your whole block.
Holy shit.
Your whole neighborhood.
I just that's the other thing is I just don't understand. I mean, even with that, like, if you're just killing your clientele,
Yeah.
that's a bad business plan, right?
Unless it's part of a much larger plan
Maybe,
to shake up a nation,
possibly.
because China's involved. This is being manufactured in China.
Well, that's true. That's a good point.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you wanted to like China went through this for like 400 years, had a huge fucking problem with opiates, where it destroyed,
Rocking the poppy over there, were they?
exactly, and it took like 400 years to recover. So they know,
Don't get high on your own supply.
yeah, they have a past and they understand what it does to a society if you infect it with X, and so
I mean, it seems just like a. Well, see, even with that, I don't understand because it's not like it's highly addictive. I wouldn't, you know what I mean? Like this, whatever. Even the fentanyl. I don't know too much
how
about
addictive
this one.
that is.
But,
no,
I mean, yeah, but it's not-
fentanyl's addictive.
Well, to a certain
Very.
degree, but the problem is not the way it's being used now. If it was marketed and used as fentanyl, probably, but it's being used and manipulated into other drugs,
Adderall.
and people are dying from it.
I mean, kids are studying, cramming for finals, taking what they believe to be an Adderall that they got from someone in their dorm,
Yep.
and done.
Right. So,
I mean, that's
if it was part of a bigger
That's
plan,
dastardly.
yeah. But so if it was part of a bigger plan, then I would say either make it something that's like super addictive, whatever that would be, to hook everybody and not just kill them, make them sick, and figure it out.
well. I think the ones that don't die are extremely addicted.
I wouldn't think so. I don't not like jonesing for another fucking fentanyl.
Yeah, they would.
Rush.
I think they would.
Well, they don't even know they had it.
Yeah.
That's so.
But
they wouldn't even-
a
they would-
lot
yeah.
of them they think they're taking painkillers. They think they're taking oxy in this
Yeah.
case, and they're
But those
really
are
getting
those are
fentanyl,
addictive enough. So why wouldn't you just do those?
because it's much cheaper.
Okay.
Yeah,
Or
it's
cut
like
it or whatever.
It's like cutting your Coke with baby fucking powder.
Yeah, but they're not. The problem is they're not cutting it. I mean, they're not taking it down enough or whatever. But and even this stuff, now that it's that much more potent, I guess if you're going to do that, then why not just make it a poison? If you just want to kill people, then
Yeah.
why not just make it a poison?
Because
It's more my
kills. It doesn't kill the millions and millions and millions of people that take it. It kills 100,000 of them.
point. Okay.
So I don't know.
Yeah, what's the point of that?
So people are taking the risk. Well, you're going to infect an entire nation. I've said this will be the death of this nation if you don't get the pain stuff under control. Because if you just take away pain meds from addicts, they're going to go to heroin, which is cheaper anyways. And so now you're dealing with a whole fucking street level kind of thing, But when you've got addicted people, they'll go to great lengths.
Yeah, but you have to be very. I mean, I don't know. It's a slippery slope, obviously,
Yeah. No offense to our Asian listeners.
of course, unless they're the ones sending over the fentanyl
Right?
and the pyro.
I mean, we know where the supply's coming from. Like any article you read I don't care what side of the aisle you're on.
Yep.
They all agree. Manufactured in China, shipped to Mexico, Mexico hauled across the border, and then spreads all over the nation.
But just keep them open. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
We don't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
Nothing to see here. Bill Barr, former Attorney General, implied on Friday night the U.S. should take care of the drug cartels south of the border with the same ferocity as ISIS.
Okay.
That's how deadly he thinks. He's like, you can't stop them. They're more powerful and wealthier than their own government.
Yep.
There's nothing you can do.
Yeah, they're running it down there for sure.
Yeah, and so they are increasingly building their connections with terrorists. Their paramilitary can take on the Mexican military, and they have so much money they can corrupt any system. The United States has been relegated to working through Mexico to try to deal with the cartels, and I think that's a losing proposition. These nefarious actors should be treated more like ISIS and less like the mafia. Under his old boss, which was Trump, the U.S. military liberated millions of people from ISIS while dwindling their control of land in the Middle East military leaders credited Trump's aggressive and non-micromanaging approach. So it was like, we didn't get second-guessed a lot. Trump was like, all right, you guys are there.
Yep. Handle it.
Make a call. Get it done.
Do it.
Boom.
Do it now.
Yep. Brett McGurk, a White House special envoy under both President Obama and Trump, credited that change in tactic for Trump's success against ISIS. Currently, the Biden administration, super administration, has essentially abandoned the border to the cartels. These cartels are bringing in poison responsible for more than 100,000 American deaths per year. Last fall, the CDC announced that fentanyl was the leading cause of death in the opioid crisis in 2020. So, and the government now is reporting that the Sinaloa and the New Generation Jalisco cartel are likely the primary trafficking groups responsible for smuggling fentanyl into the U.S. from Mexico.
Yeah,
it's a problem.
It is. I don't know how exactly you control it. I mean, you're gonna have to do something because, back when it was just weed.
Yeah,
that was they were bringing across their shit brick weed.
Yeah,
fine, whatever. Yeah. Now there's no market for that. So
no one that's ever in the history of man that's overdosed from weed.
No, right. And then it was coke coming up from South America. That was a big thing, but that mainly I'm sure it came that way, but that was coming more through like Florida, Miami, and that kind of stuff down through.
See, I always thought of Miami as coke.
Yeah,
is that big weed too?
Well, I'm sure
probably.
Yeah, but
remember, but anytime you get synthetic,
yeah, it's scary. It's dangerous.
It's crazy. Yeah. Like was it Special K?
Oh yeah,
was it like cat or something?
Was that? That's not ketamine, is it? Was it?
No.
I remember with that. It was something, but.
But then there was the one that kid that like ate his neighbor's face off in Florida. He was all hopped up on some synthetic weed.
Oh well, Well, see, that was
what's the name of that?
I know what the hell was that called? Because I used to smoke that.
Really?
I never ate a face or anything. Spice.
Yeah.
K2 was what but that was a brand. But that was like the biggest brand of it.
Where would you even get that? Online?
You could just order it online.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't. They used a synthetic THC. God knows only knows what it really was.
Right.
It wasn't any high quality shit or whatever. And they just like sprayed it on like potpourri, basically. And it just came in little bags, whatever. But when I was overseas, I ordered that shit online. Just had it delivered right to the base.
Really?
Yeah. It smelled like
How many guys in the military were doing drugs?
Then there was
quite a few.
Yeah. I mean, whatever. But as far as the military, I can't speak to a ton. I know a couple firsthand, but
yeah.
We were contractors over there. It was a little different. But
those Navy guys that died,
yeah,
were doing what they thought was blow.
Exactly.
That was just a few weeks ago.
Yeah,
and it was fentanyl.
Yep.
Yeah.
But no, you could just walk around. It smelled like you were smoking one of those. Remember the clove cigarettes?
Yeah.
It just smelled like shit. Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You just fire one of those up and just walk around the base, smoke it. Nobody had any idea what it was.
Really?
Yeah, because it didn't smell like weed. Nobody thought it was weed.
Yeah.
Nobody really knew what it was.
Yeah.
But
it's crazy.
Yeah, did what we could do. But I realized that was shit and garbage, and I stopped.
Yeah.
But when I first found out about it, I thought it was the greatest thing ever.
Really? Well, they were acting like it was just a spicier weed.
Yeah, exactly. It's just and I mean, if it was a legitimately synthetic THC, counterpart or whatever, and then you were putting it on organic stuff that you could smoke,
right?
Like, okay. And then the problem was, I don't think it was specifically the K2. I think K2 had a fairly legitimate product, but then everybody went off of that, and spidered off, and there was a bunch of bootleg counterfeit stuff out there.
Then it ends up on the counter
and they were just
at your
spraying
local
it.
gas
They were
station.
just spraying it with like Raid.
Yeah.
Like, here, smoke this. It's great. It's all fucked up. And
it is nice to have a gogoverning body
on some level. Yes,
you know what I mean?
course.
Like there is a purpose to those companies or to those government bodies.
Absolutely.
They're all obviously abused to shit, and
right.
We're gaining or losing respect and faith in them almost entirely at this point.
Yeah,
the
FDA
they've showed their hands, but
is a racket. I mean, it's at least better than nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But I really question the overall, legitimacy of the entire thing.
Yeah,
that it's not bought and paid for.
Yeah,
but,
Well, yeah, it's captured for sure.
Yes,
no doubt about it.
So,
remember we were talking last week about racist Sesame Street?
Oh yeah,
Sesame Place.
Yes, right.
don't know if you've pondered that anymore or thought any more about it. I just find it really, really hard to believe. This was Rosita it appeared in that video, like blew off a couple adorable little black girls.
Yep.
And then a few feet later hugged a little white girl. And it was like, oh my God, racist.
Yep.
Do you think that was actual racism going on? Because I've seen some other videos
I mean, it's
where
hard to
people go, oh, he blew off this black kid too. And they don't look nearly as damning as
It's hard to
that one.
say. I mean, I can't judge intent. I could make a case either way.
Right.
That
If
it's
you wanted
100% legitimate on how that could just be missed. I mean, you can't shake every hand. You can't hug every kid.
No.
There was an incident right before that of shaking off somebody that wanted to hold a baby, so you want to get out of that situation just as quickly as possible.
And not to mention the parade is coming
It's
up
moving
behind you.
along. You have to keep moving. But on that to that point, could totally have been intentional.
Yeah.
Could totally have been, and I have no idea. I'd like to give the benefit of the doubt,
Yeah.
but it totally could have been intentional. I have no idea.
You would think if this was something that was intentional, like, fuck those black kids.
Yeah.
You know?
There would have been a history of it, too.
You would think that coworkers would be like, yeah, you know what, we've been talking. This guy's been a cunt out here for 2 years he's worked here. I don't think we've ever seen him
Could have been the
high-five
first
a
day,
black kid.
first week, or who knows.
Yeah. But apparently he was devastated. He
Yeah.
or she, management, I don't think they've outed him.
Probably.
But said that he's crushed that they
I
think
thought
this.
that, yeah.
So I don't know.
I mean, that's the move, regardless.
I guess if you're the Congressional Black Caucus, they are now demanding or requesting a meeting with the president of Sesame Place after that video went viral. The Congressional Black Caucus, CBC, said it was requesting a meeting with the president and general manager, Kathy Valeriano. They claim the video is one of multiple examples of racism displayed at the park. In recent days, the meeting would be to discuss changes to the park, including plans of action and training. Oh, fuck.
Well, now, what does that include? That you have to stop and hug every black child in there? And if you have to skip one, make sure it's a white one?
Yeah.
Is that the
That's
deal?
basically
Is that
what they're
we're
saying.
going to do here?
Yeah. I mean, so they've issued 3 apologies. They've invited this family for a special tour with all the people. I think they refunded their money.
Yeah, they did. I remember that part of the story.
And it's like, okay, so if nothing's ever good enough, then what are we doing? Why are we doing this?
No, because it's not. And there's nothing to be done. If this can somehow be proven to be A, intentional, malicious,
it's a hate crime,
and B, part of any sort of bigger picture, that this wasn't just one dude that was like, ugh, darkies, no thank you. You know, like, I don't know what you do, why they're totally responsible, they're liable for this.
Yeah.
And you better make sure that there wasn't one white kid that didn't get a hug in that entire parade.
Right.
Because that's the only way that this is valid. If every white kid in that whole parade got a hug or a high five, and then there was just skipping black kids all day long.
Yeah.
But
I would think
that the one video goes viral.
Yeah.
And is
9-second clip.
And is completely, there's no context
Right.
to this whatsoever. There's no history. There's no before. There's no after. Like I said, I can make a better point.
It looked bad
for it to not be racist. No, just because of some wanting to hold the kid and saying no and moving on from there and not stopping at the very next kid to give a hug or whatever. And we talked about the suit, the line of sight issues, things
These
like
are
that.
all excuses, though.
Well,
it doesn't.
Like I said, you want to make a case one way or the other.
Don't you think those
give
Sesame
it
Place-
example after example after example of how it could be completely innocent?
Yeah, of course.
Except and there's only one that makes it malicious.
Here's what I'm thinking. Don't you think Sesame Place, and I believe this is in Philadelphia, would have tons of video of their parades where you could go, here's Rosita hugging 200 black kids and high-fiving them from the previous day's video.
And they probably could go through and pull all that if they wanted to.
They would be shit on more for doing that.
Right. That's why they have it.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Because they have video.
Exactly. No, I mean,
But
if
they
you
would.
if you want to make a stink out of nothing.
So I'm thinking, like, if you're the Congressional Black Caucus, you exist Only if
for
there's problems.
This is your day. This
Right.
is your time to shine.
These people demanding meetings with presidents, like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, it's like the weatherman when there's a tornado or a hurricane or any of that stuff. It's like, all right, let's go. Get the best suit out for this one.
Yeah.
My time to shine.
But so many people that have given legitimacy to any beef anyone's got, it couldn't possibly be a misunderstanding.
Nope.
No benefit of the doubt granted.
None.
So none, ever. It's factual.
Yep.
We have this overwhelming, stunning proof of the racism on display. Our demands are like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
You're not what? You're going to change the rules of the park?
Exactly.
Really?
And to what?
To what?
To what is the change?
I would say
that's
don't
going
admit
to
white
be?
people into your park anymore.
Yeah, what's
don't
the-
allow whiteys in there.
I
I
mean,
mean, that's basically what you're trying to fucking
No,
say.
but I would like to know what the point of the change is that they want to implement. Just sensitivity training, probably more diversity under the masks, whatever it is. I don't know, but it's not changing anything. It's just speak.
So, the meeting would be to discuss changes to the park. So I can't even fathom in my mind like what that means. Like,
Nope.
so you would change things to what? Having a black and whites only faucet,
don't-
water fountain.
Whoa, it can't go
Would
there.
that be changes to the park you're talking about?
Can't go there. Can't go back.
Discuss changes to the park, including plans of action. So what does plans of action mean?
That's just it. None of it.
None of it.
Means nothing. These are words. This
And
is
training.
This is a bull. Exactly.
So,
It's
so
garbage.
this is where the grift comes in,
This
right?
is
This is
exactly
where
right. This
now
is-
now you got to pay out $50,000 to have some anti-racism asshole
Yeah.
come in and lecture your fucking staff for an hour,
Yeah.
and get paid on the grift, right?
Exactly.
As if these people have done anything wrong.
No.
And I mean, you know,
Right.
and even if you did have one guy, and you figure out, yeah, you know what? Now, come to think of it, he always ignores the black kids. Plus, he's talking shit about them in the locker room.
And
Blow that dude out.
So the follow up to that would be okay. Let me know what your plan of action is. Give us bullet points on things you would like to see done, because I'd like to see that in there. But again, even those are going to just be the flash topics of the day. Sensitivity training, inclusiveness.
Yeah, which is
they're
bullshit.
right. They're just going to be words.
Changes to the park is the one that gets me.
I-
Like all black people get to cut to the front of the line.
I don't know. I don't know exactly
Going
what
forward.
it is. But again, I would like clarification on that for
Yeah.
sure. But you don't have to have any context to what you're saying. You just have to say it. Like this,
Yeah.
like you can't prove that it was racist. You just have to say that it was, and
Right.
then you have to accept that it was. Otherwise, you're racist for questioning it.
Yeah.
You don't have to prove it. The burden of proof is no longer on you. It's on
Right.
them
It's
to
guilty
defend
till proven
themselves.
innocent.
Right.
Yeah. The Congressional Black Caucus acknowledged the apology in its statement, but said it was requesting a meeting anyway, given the gravity of the situation and lack of responsibility at all levels.
Well, you just want to maintain your relevance.
Right.
That's what that is.
Yeah.
Just keep us in the headline. Keep
Yeah.
us out in front of this thing.
Lord.
I listened to my favorite NPR today. I heard a great little bit. They were talking about. I don't even know what the whole point of the thing was. I just caught a little segment of it, but guy was talking about the responsibility of media these days, and so
NPR is going to tell us about the responsibility of
well,
media?
it was, and
Awesome.
so it was a caller.
Hilarious.
It was a caller, and he was talking. His point was, that during the previous presidency, wouldn't want to say anybody's name.
Oh yeah, have you noticed that too? They don't mention it by
They
name.
don't want to say the name.
Yeah, it's like fucking. What's the guy's name you can't say?
Bruno. We don't talk about Bruno.
No, not that one. I was thinking of the Hogwarts.
Oh, I have no idea. I don't watch that shit.
Yeah. Okay.
But anyway, his point was, the media would he said, all that guy did was lie, and the media would come out and tell you that he was lying. He goes, but they didn't go far enough. They didn't tell you why he was lying, or they didn't tell you the truth of it. And I'm just sitting there going, you fucking moron. Why do you think that is?
Yeah.
Why do you think that is? They're telling you he's lying, but they're not telling you what it is or what the truth actually is.
Right.
But you just are blindly accepting it that it's a lie because they said it.
They had a counter on CNN.
It was
There was a counter
of the what,
of
lie
lies.
counts? Yeah.
I think that's who did it.
I was like, okay, I'm not saying the guy's a sayer. He didn't tell. It wasn't full of shit.
Yeah.
But I'm like, do you understand how ignorant your statement is that you
Yeah.
called a fucking radio station? Of course, they're chewing it up like, yes, exactly.
Yeah.
They really
No,
should.
we must never forget.
There
Never
was just
forgot.
so many of them, they couldn't even stay on top of them. I don't know, but
Yeah.
I was just sitting there in my thing going, okay,
Yeah.
of course. There was just lie after lie after lie after lie.
Right.
But the media was negligent in not telling you why.
Right.
Just saying that he lied. So like
if you couldn't point it out, there was a very specific reason why you couldn't point it out.
They didn't flip a switch at all.
Yeah.
Like you just okay, that's where we're at in society today.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Where it's terrifying.
It is.
And it's getting worse. I know don't even bother going over there to put up it has been this many days since the
Okay.
transgender
Yep.
story.
I won't.
There's a couple of them, and I don't care.
Click. We'll virtually click it.
The AP Style Book issues guide for transgender coverage. So the Style Book kind of updates for media, and media outlets will refer to this.
All right.
Like, oh, this is how we don't call them retards anymore.
Yes.
Call them, whatever. Wheelies. Yeah. Whatever. But
Special needs.
Yeah. So we're the AP Style Book. So Reuters and ABC, whoever will go to them, and historically through the book, and go, okay, this is how we're supposed to address
That's the
things.
standard then.
Right.
Okay.
So this is a respected organization.
AP is in Associated Press?
Yes.
Okay.
The Associated Press Style Book, decades, has served as the default style manual for most news organizations, has issued a topical guide for transgender coverage that encourages writers to use unbiased language and to avoid false balance by giving a platform to unqualified claims or sources in the guise of balancing a story by including all views.
Okay.
Okay. So what that is saying, by trying to be fair and balanced, giving a platform to unqualified claims, like, I don't know, men can give birth.
Yeah. Or Rosita's racist.
Right.
Things like that.
In the guise of balancing a story by including all views. So you don't want to give a 360. You don't want to give a full perspective. Only this extreme view that we have is acceptable. That's it. Don't we don't need you to oversource this. We don't want to give the other side of the argument.
Wait, weren't they saying that at least all sides had to be represented? Was that
No.
Oh,
No.
I thought it was saying that you just had to give equal time to the unbiased claims. I misinterpreted.
Avoid false balance by giving a platform to unqualified claims or sources in the guise of balancing a story
No, see, I think
by
you're
including all views.
I think you're misinterpreting that.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. This is what you're supposed to avoid. It starts out by saying avoid doing that.
Avoid false balance.
False balance by saying, okay, by using these bullshit, avoid the false balance by saying that you're going to use both sides instead of using this bullshit unbiased claim. I think you're misinterpreting the story. Instead of using that unbiased claim to give the balance to the story so that you can give both sides, avoid using garbage claims. I think that's what that says.
Encourages writers to use unbiased language and to avoid false balance by giving a platform to unqualified claims or sources in the guise of balancing a story.
But that's the false balance.
So no. Giving a platform, what they're considering to be an unqualified claim is the other side's opinion, I think.
Well, it depends on. Well, I mean, that's a generic statement. Depending on what the unqualified claim is, but I read that completely different than you do. I think it's saying avoid doing this. Avoid giving unbiased.
Okay, here's the next sentence.
Okay, that's fine.
Yet the guidance appears to explicitly embrace the language and claims of transgender activists, a move likely to steer newsrooms away from objectively framing the issue. In other words, we side with the trans people. Don't even platform these people with unqualified sources. The United Trans of America organization said that men can have babies too. And so that's our argument. Don't even platform someone that has a differing view from that. That's how I read that.
Well, I mean,
and you're putting pressure on newsrooms now to cover it as such.
I mean, I guess you
I'll
can
keep
interpret
reading.
that thing one way or the other. But this is an article that is using that
Well, there's a lot more.
Well, I understand, but they're citing that phrase. This isn't an AP article, right? This isn't. They're saying that.
They're just giving you quotes from what the AP style guide
and
is.
then they're interpreting that.
Yeah, and so are we.
Right. So that's my interpretation.
The AP style book has issued prior guidance related to gender and sexuality, but it does include some updates, together providing an extensive reference for journalists. The Transgender Coverage Topical Guide explains a person's sex and gender are usually assigned at birth by parents or attendants and can turn out to be inaccurate.
Okay. Sure.
Experts say gender is a spectrum, not a binary structure consisting of only men and women, that can vary among societies and can change over time. The guide encourages writers to refer to subjects according to their preferred gender identity. I have no problem with that. You know?
Yeah.
Call you whatever you want.
Which is essentially what I think that's saying still.
The guide condemns dead naming or referencing to a trans person's previous name because that can be akin to a racial slur. The guide explains the word identify can be useful, but alternative phrasing like is a woman is more to the point than identifies as a woman.
All right, well.
So see where they're going here?
Yeah.
So having identifies as means you're not quite
right
there.
Yeah.
So now we're just going to call them a woman, according to the AP style book. Further, they advise writers to avoid terms like biological male, which opponents of trans rights sometimes use to oversimplify sex and gender, is often misleading shorthand for assigned male at birth and is redundant because sex is inherently biological.
I mean, the reality is that if somebody wants to live their life that way, well, I'm going to use the term identify as a woman for right now, for clarification.
Oh boy, the AP book just told you not to do that.
I don't care what they say.
What are you doing?
If that's what they want to do and want to be, I have no problem with anybody referring to them as their preferred pronoun.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I don't think it's mandatory, and I do think that it's disrespectful to deliberately dead name or
Like Rick Levine.
misgender. Yes,
Yeah.
obviously. I mean that's intentional, and that's disrespectful.
Not always. Sometimes I mess it up.
Well,
He went by Rick for 52 years.
That's fine. Like Bruce and Caitlin.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's Caitlin now. No, if you intentionally say Bruce, it's intentional.
Who won the decathlon in 72?
Bruce Jenner did, because that's who won it, 100%. But that's
so historically, if you're referencing
exactly, well, that's true.
Yeah.
So that's fine. That is true. That you can't deny that. Caitlyn Jenner didn't win it.
No,
right?
no, she did
Because
not.
she didn't exist. You know,
No.
technically.
Yeah.
Maybe in her mind, I'll even do that.
Yeah, because she was
did.
cross-dressing during that whole period.
Right. So I have no problem with trying to maintain that stuff. Now, to make it a standard, automatic, and even changing the identify as, because that's just almost a jab.
Yeah.
It's just not worth it. Just say they want to be a woman.
Right.
And in news stories and things like that, I don't really care. You know, there's times that it really matters.
You, like people with,
I can call you a woman, but I still don't want you
person.
in. I think it's ignorant, is what it is.
I don't know why, because I think further down the road, like, what do I give a fuck?
Right.
What do I care?
Exactly.
But it's just, there is something about it. Like, what are you going for here? Birthing person. Are you trying to erase mother? Are you trying to erase women?
I think it's just chaos.
Yeah. Yeah. It's an agent of chaos. And that part I don't like.
Yeah.
I think we got a pretty damn good thing going here.
It's part of the
all in all,
creation of the division, and you're falling right in step.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying just hook, line, and sinker, just go on with it. But some things are worth it and some things aren't. And I respect everybody's ability to live their life in whichever way they choose, as long as they don't hurt people or break any laws.
Right.
Right?
Well,
So,
you're talking about children in a lot of these instances.
I get it.
I think I have a big fucking problem with. So a little bit more
I would
here.
fall under hurting people.
Yeah, yeah. But they don't believe that. In describing gender confirmation procedures and gender-affirming care, the guide explains that treatments can improve psychological well-being and reduce suicidal behavior. The guide cites that the World Professional Association of Transgender Health recently lowered its recommended minimum age for starting transition surgeries, sex hormones or surgeries, to age 14.
Perfect. Good for them.
The problem with that statement is that's bullshit.
That's from them.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay, but the AP is putting that in their guidelines.
What does the World Christian Medical Association say?
Well, I don't give a shit what they say as long as the AP doesn't make it here's your guidance to follow.
Well,
that is a false statement that it improves suicide rates. That's bullshit. We've known that for a long time.
No, right. It said, and again, can.
Yes.
It can.
Yeah, the language is...
If it makes one person not commit suicide, then it can improve, suicide rate or whatever.
And that's a quote, too. Treatments can improve psychological well-being and reduce suicidal behavior.
I caught that the first time through. Can.
Yeah.
Yeah. May.
Or it can have the exact opposite effect and drive someone to suicide, too.
It can. Exactly.
When they're rushed through, when we're just going to... first glance, rush them through and put them in surgery. And that was terrifying. That girl that was laying on the fucking hospital bed going, what am I doing?
Yep.
Before she went under and then woke up without titties.
Yep. They go.
She knew it. She knew it then and didn't have the courage to say something to the doctor like, big mistake. Big mistake.
Regret. Yeah. I have a few.
Yeah. So let's see. The guide further states that proponents of such restrictions assert that trans women have an athletic... Oh, okay, here you go. The guide specifically criticizes efforts... Again, this is AP style book.
Yeah.
Guide specifically criticizes efforts to maintain sex-specific sports. In the following 2 years, more than a dozen states passed laws banning trans athletes from certain sports teams. The measure unfairly targeted an already marginalized community, and that rules and monitoring in individual league and conferences render such legislation unnecessary. The guide further states that proponents of such restrictions assert that trans women have an athletic advantage over cisgendered women. Trans athletes' backers argue that individuals are different, that sweeping restrictions overblow the prevalence of the issue, and it's not possible to know with certainty what gives any particular athlete, trans or cisgender, a competitive edge.
Now, the only question I have to this is that directly from this AP style book, or is that part of this article?
Quotes.
Those are all quotes from the style book. Okay, just making sure.
Yeah. You fucking joking me. If you paid attention to that couple sentences right there,
you lost me.
You're trying to argue that who's to say
there's no advantage.
Different cisgendered, biological male versus a female? Like, really? We just don't know. You're not being honest.
Right.
Like, they have to know that's bullshit.
Then why don't we just eliminate the...
I'm all for it.
The gender... let's just have sports.
Yeah.
Let's not have it separated by men's or women's. Let's just have sports.
I love it.
Let the best person win.
I love it.
Let's see how that goes. Let's see how those trans end up in that one.
Yeah. Let's see. How many women do you think would...
None.
Yeah.
None.
Ever.
None.
Place in the top 100?
None.
Yeah.
None.
Wow, but how could you say that?
None.
I mean...
Jeopardy. Hey, insurance. We all need it. Most of us don't know what kind of coverage we have or who even provides it. Let fellow TDC listener Brent Wasick from Wasick Insurance Services change that. Brent has over 30 years in the business and offers all types of insurance coverage: auto, home, health, life, business, commercial, and more. Call Brent Wasick at 734-455-1900 and get a free no-obligation quote today. Again, that's 734-455-1900 and ask for Brent Wasick.
I keep doing these trans stories because some of them are more unbelievable than others, and you can just feel the wave. Like, there's nothing more brave and nothing more awesome and nothing more like... We want so anyway, I've got a story here. It starts on June 3rd. Patricia Trimble penned an article for the Prison Journalism Project, a nonprofit organization that claims its aim is to empower incarcerated journalists by providing them a platform. Trimble is a regular contributor for the PJP. Wrote about preparing a presentation for a class at Missouri University after being contacted by a professor there. So we need to bring you in, and you're an expert. Yeah. It's not unusual unusual for me to be asked to write an article or story about things in my wheelhouse. I am, after all, a transgender woman, feminist, activist, and advocate for the incarcerated alphabet community," adding that one of his papers on discrimination against queer inmates was published by the Alphabet Policy Journal at Harvard University.
Okay.
So we're championing this.
Of course.
That same year, Trimble was sympathetically profiled by Vice in an article on being incarcerated while transgender. While Trimble has been featured in multiple recent news articles and has written plenty of his own work, there's often...
Is that the one that's knocking up the inmates?
No.
Oh, just making sure.
No.
Just a lady.
Just a lady hanging out here doing what ladies do.
Just skeeting.
Taking my cock out and banging chicks with it. Why wouldn't I? I'm just a lady like every other lady. But there's never any mention about what Patricia did to end up in prison.
Oh, tell me more.
So it's just, let's discuss trans issues about incarcerated inmates.
Yeah.
Let's do a high-profile Vice article. All the great work she's doing, for advocating for LGBT rights in prison.
Yeah.
Born Patrick.
Okay,
it's legit. I'm not trying to dead name.
That's totally legitimate.
Ms.
Of course.
Ms. Trimble wouldn't want to do that. Trimble was convicted in '78 of the brutal rape of 2 9-year-old girls in the city of St. Charles, Missouri. Trimble came upon the 2 girls. Bad writing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, it's an unforced error.
Or kind of brilliant, but okay.
Yeah,
depending on how.
Do you think? Because that's something I would do.
I know.
That's you would do that too.
I'm just saying. You want to give the benefit of the doubt, but
yeah,
that could be.
Trimble came upon the 2 girls playing near a marshy area and earned their trust.
Not stumbled upon, not found the girls.
Yeah. Not stalked.
Yep.
Yeah.
Met the girls.
No, came upon the 2 girls near a marshy area. Okay, did he come upon them anywhere else? Sounds like a real piece of shit.
Yeah. Well, face.
He earned their trust by helping them retrieve a rope they had been trying to grab out of a tree to play with. Initially acting friendly towards the girls, he then showed them some tricks with the rope, ultimately using his control of the cord to tie it around each girl's wrist under the pretense of showing them a knot, using the leverage to drag them to his car. The girls were then taken to a remote wooded area where he proceeded to orally and vaginally rape both of them.
Oh, what a martyr.
Yeah. With his lady cock.
Yeah.
Just out here raping with my lady cock. 1983 digitized Court of Appeals decision provides disturbing testimony from the investigation in which both girls described their ordeals in graphic detail.
Spare me.
While in prison, awaiting the final verdict on this case, it gets better, T. Waiting the final verdict on his case, Trimble would commit another crime, making what the court would describe later as a slave out of a developmentally disabled cellmate, Jerry Everett. He was in jail waiting trial for stealing a van.
Okay.
Simple guy.
Yep.
Not all there. Steals a van. He's just placed in this jail. After being placed with Trimble, Everett was subjected to routine physical and sexual humiliation and torture. Trimble forced the victim to have both oral and anal with him, compelled him to wear a bra around the jail for the entertainment of the other inmates, and forced him at one point to display to the other inmates a rag that had been stuffed into his asshole.
Okay. Real champion for alphabet rights here.
Yeah. Trimble prostituted Everett to other inmates and even offered to sell him to a member of the prison staff for a carton of cigarettes. Trimble also tortured Everett, making deep gashes in his flesh using burnt shampoo bottles.
Make a shiv.
A shiv, yeah. The court noted that Everett was significantly smaller than Trimble, standing 5'10", 145. Trimble's 6'1", 210.
Okay.
A few weeks after beginning the abuse, Trimble advised other inmates that he was planning on murdering Everett to prevent him from ever informing anyone outside of the prison what had happened. November 12th, Trimble forced Everett to pen a suicide note and strangled him to death using towels. At one point, Trimble twisted the fabric so hard that he fractured Everett's neck. After murdering him, Trimble hung the corpse using the towels so as to stage that he'd killed himself. The court said Everett was so slow, he may have never have fully comprehended what was happening to him.
So much for strength.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe that's not always a thing. Huh. But, you know what? I mean, who
Don't
else?
you want to write a
Who better
Yeah.
should we listen to
Yeah.
than this champion of the alphabet rights, the alphabet community?
Oh yeah.
Right? It's not uncommon to be asked to write an article in your wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Could you write me something about rape and
That sounds
rape
more
and-
like in your wheelhouse.
That sounds right in the
I'm
wheelhouse. Yeah.
It's funny you picked up on that because that was early on in the article.
Yep.
And I was kind of thinking that too. Like, sounds like your wheelhouse is
Yeah.
maybe murder and rape.
Yeah,
of
sounds like
toddlers,
right there for
9-year-olds. How fucking help these little girls.
So wait.
Get a rope out of the tree. Probably jumping rope.
So this trans is in a men's prison.
Yes.
Okay.
Has been for 42 years.
Okay. Well, okay. I guess
They don't have the gender question on the thing. Like,
Gotcha.
who would have
Back
thought
in
you would
then.
need it?
Yeah, 40 years ago wasn't
Yeah.
a thing. All
Yeah.
right. Yeah, you want to wear a bra and a wig, you're going to be real popular.
Yeah,
Okay, Go
exactly.
ahead. Go for it. Enjoy.
In 1980, Trimble was sentenced to death for his crimes, but in 85, the decision was commuted to a life sentence, and he didn't even get paroled in 50 years. According to the 2019 profile by Vice, Trimble began a hormone replacement therapy in 18 after being diagnosed with gender dysphoria. He learned about the condition in 2015 after reaching out to an alphabet organization for support services following an alleged assault he experienced by a fellow inmate. So he reaches out to them. They're
So
like,
he finally took one in the booty hole and was like, "Ooh, maybe I like it. I'm gonna be a bitch now."
Yeah.
How do I make this real?
yeah.
Or it was, "Ow, that hurts. How do I get out of here? Can I get moved to a chickie prison?"
So he's reading this,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Oh my God, that explains my life. I'm just a lady, just a lady. It all makes sense now."
Yeah, because that's what ladies do is go around and rape fucking 9-year-old girls.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Seems more like a male crime than a female one, doesn't it?
Yeah, especially when you're putting your dick in them. But
Yeah.
that's just me. Who am I to say?
Well, not a male dick, but a female dick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lady boner.
Yeah. Just a
Who
lady.
doesn't love a good old lady
Just a
boner?
lady who likes to pound other ladies' vagines with my massive cock. But
Right.
what's wrong with that?
Yeah. That's ironic, though, that this is the person they chose. I would imagine there are other people that would have been equally as qualified.
Just ignore 1978.
Right. Well,
Through
and
1985.
also
Just ignore
hold
that.
on. So that 40 whatever years this person's been in prison.
Yeah.
What exactly are their journalistic qualifications here? Were they a world-class reporter when they went into jail for raping the girls?
They claim to be trans.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's
all you
their,
need.
bro. It's not uncommon to be asked to pen an article in your wheelhouse. The fuck out of here, you egotistical twat.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So, Trimble credits another trans-identified male inmate at his institution with helping him get access to affirming items, gender-affirming items. Less than a year after, Trimble began appearing as a contributor to various LGBTQ and trans-centered publications. In none of his contributions does he mention what he's in prison for, but rather maintains the focus on his apparent struggle against what he frames as an oppressive transphobic system.
That was because he suffered from gender dysphoria.
Right.
That's what caused those actions. That
Yeah.
wasn't me. If I could have been the real me.
You mean the rapes?
Yeah.
Or the murder? Or
I mean, I wouldn't want to use those terms.
Yeah.
But I guess.
Minor
if,
attracted person?
I mean, I guess if facts being facts, okay,
Yeah.
sure. The brutal rape and murder of these people. But
Yeah.
okay.
well, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm sure those girls were fine.
Oh, I'm sure they're
At
perfectly,
9 years old, being
perfectly well
vaginally
adjusted.
and orally raped by a full-grown man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, very well adjusted, I'm sure.
That's the
these days.
nightmare. Being dragged,
Oh,
rope
yeah.
tied, dragged to a wooded area, secluded, and then both of you
Yeah.
are fucked in the mouth and the vagine.
Yep.
Yeah, I bet they're doing great.
Yep. Meanwhile,
2000 yeah.
Meanwhile, we pay for this person's gender affirming care and surgeries
Right.
while they're in prison.
Handsome young lady too.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah,
I'm
I
sure.
didn't pull up any pictures,
I
but
don't
this
even
is a
doesn't
handsome,
even matter. I'm sure. Yeah, it's a lovely, lovely lady.
Less than 1 year. Let's see. In 2021,
Are we paying for the kids' therapy at this point? Just out
No,
of
fuck
curiosity.
them. No. Why would you?
None of that's covered. Though,
They're probably
right?
cisgender.
The,
No.
the victims don't get anything out of this. But
Right.
Interesting how that works.
In 2021, Razvan Sibi, a senior lecturer in journalism at the University of Massachusetts Amherst, praised Trimble for his advocacy for and mentoring of LGBTQ people in prison. That mentoring, which includes helping other trans males gain access to benefits after declaring a transgender identity, had allegedly earned Trimble the nickname Mother.
Fucker.
Trimble recently published a book titled Finding Purpose, One Transgender Woman's Journey, which is currently available on Amazon.
Oh, we should get that.
Yeah.
That's got to be a great
You
read.
know, so that, you know, wouldn't pull that book down by a double rapist, child rapist, and murderer.
Yep.
No, that's fine. That doesn't go against Amazon's whatever. Let's let them profit off it.
Of course.
You know, let's do a GoFundMe for the guy, the lady. You know what I mean? They, for some, I could promise you it wouldn't go against their guidelines.
I know.
It's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
And the article goes on to talk about other guys that have done this too. Jeffrey Wilsey was operating a highly regarded, award-winning trans activist under the name Zena Grancelli. He pled guilty to 11 counts of sexual abuse involving a 3-year-old girl and was designated a sexual violent offender. His registration categorizes him as a level 3 risk, which is the highest recidivism rate.
Okay.
He can't be within 1,000 feet of a school.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so
So if Jeff doesn't associate himself as Jeff anymore, can you even hold him in prison? It's not totally different person now, right?
what if he identifies as a free man?
That's a great question. I mean, how far are we going to take this? Yeah.
Just open up the door. Here we go. No problem.
Yeah, I got a message from our guys over at Zott Ford and Holly. The bar and the gang at Zott Ford still have interest rates as low as 2.9% for up to 72 months on new and used cars, trucks, and SUVs, and you know that's crazy good. But this offer's not going to last long because as the Fed raises rates, these smoking hot deals aren't going to last forever. So if you want the best deal in the deal and the lowest rates possible, go see our boy today. Zott Ford has new whips in stock like F-150s, Broncos, Escapes, Edges, and Expeditions. The studs over at Zott Ford and Holly always make buying and leasing fast, fun, and easy, so go check out their sick deals and sexy inventory at dealsinthed.com.
I'm digging those Broncos, man.
They're sharp.
They're popping up all over. I'm seeing a lot of them.
And well, not all Broncos are created equal.
No.
There are some straight up grocery getters.
Yeah.
And then there's some balls out badass rides.
Yeah.
Yeah. And everywhere in between.
Yeah.
So choose wisely.
I'm not. The sport is too small, I think.
Yeah.
But full size Bronco.
That's like a new Escape.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but you get into like the whatever.
I think it's the same size as
Big
the Escape.
Bend or Badlands or what is some of those
Yeah,
other ones.
yeah.
So I saw a 2-door one that was pretty dope.
Really?
Yeah, with the top off and everything the other day.
Yeah.
Sharp.
Yeah. They're awesome, man. Mm-hmm. They are awesome.
Yeah.
I will get off the LGBTQ community.
Gross.
But I did want to mention protesters at a LGBTQ event in Berlin have demanded that Ukraine is armed in order to allow the Russian-occupied city of Mariupol to host their Pride Parade.
Oh, that's what it is?
Yeah, so they're in Berlin, and they've got all these things they want. We need to send weapons of war to Ukraine so they can keep the Russians at bay long enough to have
Just
their
long
Pride
enough
Parade.
to have their...
Yeah. Priorities. Jesus fucking Christ. It's unbelievable.
After that, after the rainbow flags come down,
Dude.
Do what you will.
Yeah.
Have your way.
Have your way.
But until then...
Arm Ukraine. Make Pride in Mariupol possible. Some were wearing dog masks and chains and various, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
No, but one of the things, so 350,000 individuals took part in the protests, which this year reportedly centered around a strong signal for diversity, freedom, and respect, and against hate, war, and discrimination.
How many...
So you're against war, but you want to send weapons of mass destruction
You're defending yourself.
to there so you can have your gay pride. When war fits.
How many people do you think would show up to that? I mean,
The Pride Parade in Mariupol?
Yeah, just change your rainbow flags to like bullseyes.
I would
That's
encourage
it.
all of you to go. All of you go.
Right?
Yep.
I'm sure the Russians seem to be very tolerant of this. Yeah, make sure that it's well advertised. Hey, by the way, in Mariupol right now, we're going to have this huge parade going down Main Street from noon to 5.
You're going to see some cock sleeves. You are. You're going to see some cock
I wouldn't
sleeves.
expect any missiles whatsoever to come in there.
No.
Yeah.
No. But
yeah, give them some guns and some RPGs to defend themselves.
And think about that, like the message that sends. Like, war is war, people. It's not something we decide on. Like, well, who's going to have the gay pride parade if we don't have? Well, then we're going to have to go to war. We need to have the parade. I'm
unacceptable.
This is unacceptable. Grab your banners and flags, folks. We're going to go help send weapons to Ukraine.
I wasn't anti-war until they stopped my parade.
Yeah.
Now,
don't worry. There's one
Russia.
every day. There's a pride parade every fucking day.
yeah, come here.
Yeah.
You'll be in heaven.
You can have a month. We'll give you June. All right. Now I need you over there for the
Way
video.
more than that. Oh, man.
Yeah, I know. You can come back right afterwards. I think it's worth hearing.
It better be.
Did you see Rapey McForehead trending this weekend?
No, I did not. I do not do the twitting or the trending thing.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me figure this part out here.
Kind of a great name, Rapey McForehead.
Yeah. Well, I knew exactly who you were talking about. So
Did you? Because I could have said Butthead. People have been comparing Matt Gaetz to Butthead for.
I don't. You know what? I might not have gotten the Butthead reference, but
when you see
forehead,
pictures, when people meme it,
put it together.
Yeah, you'll see it.
I can figure that out.
So it was trending over the weekend. Matt Gaetz he criticized the physical appearance of abortion rights activists. Hey, look, I'll be honest with you. I think Matt Gaetz is probably a giant piece of shit.
Yep.
Comes from wealth, not like that's the end all be all, but and you know, but I got to agree with him on this one. The people that are protesting all the Roe v. Wade stuff, look very unfuckable. I don't know how else to say it.
They really did not put the A team out for this effort.
No,
or maybe that's the best they have.
And if you do a team photo like pro-life versus pro-abortion, it's not a fair fight.
You know what? I disagree. I disagree.
Really?
Well, just listen. Just because those people are out there, you're also talking about 75% of the country, maybe that are pro-choice.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that that's the dregs
no,
of the 75%?
Simply talking activism.
Okay.
Only activism.
Okay.
Yeah. And as we know, that 75% is a misleading number because that number flips to equally 75 when you get down to the bones of it and after 15, 20 weeks.
Yeah, well.
You know, I don't care. I honestly don't have a dog in the fight, don't care. But
well, I mean, right. I mean, it's not just absolute one way or the other, pro-life, pro-choice.
No.
It's either like all of one or all or none, but.
So anyway, I wanted to play this. This is Matt Gaetz,
Okay.
piece of shit, and people think he's what was he, trafficking women? It sounds like
he
he was paying.
he was just banging young girls, I think, is what it was.
But when you start getting into that D.C. area and you've got Maryland and Pennsylvania, like all within a drive, you know what I mean? Like crossing state lines.
Yeah, he was flying them to like islands and stuff, right? Things like that.
I don't know.
I think there was some. There was some flights involved.
Why has this story just sat there?
Well, that's
it's weird, isn't it? Because
I think that might be very telling.
Like they're all doing it?
Yes, or there's nothing to it. They tried and they don't have it, because I can only imagine if there was something there, they would be just burying this guy.
Yes.
Burying him
instead
at
of
every
just
level.
Twitter burying him?
Yes. So that's what makes me question things, because you don't even have to have proof to bury somebody now.
Yeah.
Like they started it didn't have any traction, and it went away. So that makes me question I still don't like the guy, but
yeah, I don't either.
You know,
well, he's denied having a romantic relationship with minors. Joel Greenberg, an associate of Gaetz, pled guilty in May 21 to 6 criminal charges, including sex trafficking of a minor. He'll be sentenced in August. Like I said, though, sex trafficking, it's not like he loaded 15 underage girls into a fucking U-Haul and drove them down to, wherever to be sold into sex slavery.
It comes like, in many levels, right?
Yeah. It's
you pimp out a 16-year-old, you sex trafficked.
Right. Or if you get a 17-year-old and you go across state lines, that's trafficked. So not that any of that's good or right or anything like that, but it seems like Matt Gaetz is hateable enough that if you had actual evidence on him, he'd be buried under the prison.
Exactly. That's what I'm.
You know what I mean?
That's what makes me question it. Especially with the all-out attack that's been going on.
Right.
That it just doesn't. I can't understand it. It makes me question. The validity of it all. I'm not saying he did it, didn't, or whatever.
Wouldn't put it
but-
past him.
No, not at all.
He looks like an entitled prick, doesn't he?
Yeah, he looks like he's a he's a pastor, like on a
Yeah.
Sunday morning right there.
Well, go ahead and play this. It's only a minute long, T, and then you can come back over here.
Okay.
But give it a spin.
Let's see.
So hold on, I should say where this is. He is
Okay.
speaking at the Turning Point USA Student Action Summit in Tampa,
All right.
and he's talking about women who are pro-choice and how they look.
Our America is a pro-life nation, proudly.
Right.
Have you watched these pro-abortion, pro-murder rallies? The people are just disgusting.
I'm getting very Trumpy vibes from that.
Yeah,
Very, very
like
Trumpy
mannerisms.
vibes. Yes, very, very Trumpy vibes. I'm wondering if he's trying to align himself a little bit.
Maybe.
Like, why is it that the women with the least likelihood of getting pregnant are the ones most worried about having abortions? Nobody wants to impregnate you if you look like a thumb.
It's not a good look, man.
It's
That
not a
is
good look.
Not
at
a
all.
good look.
It's kind of funny.
I mean,
he's not wrong.
He's not wrong, but
Come on, man.
You should not.
These people are odious on the inside and out. They're like 5'2", 350 pounds, and they're like, give me my abortions or I'll get up and march and protest. And I'm thinking, march? You look like you got ankles weaker than the legal reasoning behind Roe versus Wade. A few
terrible
of
joke.
them need to get up
Yeah.
and march. They need to get up and march for like an hour a day, swing those arms, get the blood pumping, maybe mix in a salad.
Yeah.
I hate this so much.
I do too.
It should be beneath people at that level. And this is
You would hope so, yes.
this is the door Trump kicked in,
Exactly
right?
right. That's-
You know, when it's like little Marco Rubio, you know, with this tiny whatever, shitting on people on that level has led douchebags like this to think,
Yep.
oh, it's a winning formula.
Right.
It was
To-
a winning formula for Donald Trump
At that time.
but yeah,
To try to appeal to that base, perhaps. But yeah, I don't. It's a bad look. I don't like him overall.
yeah, you just get that vibe, don't you?
Just creepy as shit.
Yeah.
He's a fucking creep.
When he first came out of the scene, gross. I didn't hate him. You know,
Yeah.
I was like, okay, he's young and he's making some good arguments. But the more I learned about him,
Yeah.
it's just
So
like,
then he starts talking.
yeah,
You're like,
more and more.
Yeah.
And this shit is like the epitome of idiocracy.
It is exactly.
You know what I mean?
I want the utmost class out of my politicians.
Yeah.
No matter what your beliefs are, I want you to be classy. I want you to be professional.
Yeah.
I want you to be respectable. That was what the biggest problem I had with Trump. It wasn't his policies. It wasn't what he did. I think it was
Yeah, I was fine. with his
presidentially. I
policies.
think he was great in the things
Yeah.
that he did and got done. But
Agreed.
personally, it was a piece of shit.
Yeah,
you know.
but always had been.
Oh, exactly.
And everybody knew that.
Right. So I expect better from the people
Yeah.
that we elect to lead us as people, to represent us.
Yeah,
I don't want them to be so out of touch, but I expect them to handle themselves
in a professional
in a
manner.
professional way, and that
Yeah.
is just a bad look.
It's a terrible look.
Never- I-
You know, I was watching videos from this. I didn't watch 1 minute.
You think the 5'2", 340-pound pro-lifers are like, hey, fuck you,
Yeah, they absolutely
right?
are.
Hey, man, eat a dick.
Yeah. Well, I saw clips from this Turning Point USA, which is Charlie Kirk started in, I think, 2012. And it's basically to encourage young conservatives coming up to have a voice on college campuses and high schools. And,
Yeah.
you know, there's
Yeah,
Someone
someone's got
needs
to
to
do
do
it.
it,
Exactly.
you know?
They're being drowned out.
right. But so some of the clips I saw, because again, this stuff's trending on Twitter. These people, it is,
These people.
yeah. The people that were taking the stage, Matt Gaetz, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Trump was there, DeSantis was there.
Okay.
So you've got the leading
Yeah.
conservative people. Every one of them looks like an asshole. They're coming out like
Damn,
it's
even
like it's-
DeSantis?
not DeSantis, but
Okay.
it's not their fault either. The whole thing is like a stage with lights. It looks like a fight,
Yeah.
but it looks like a whack, like what are those giant churches that are putting on fucking shows now. What do they call that?
Whatever. Cults.
Yeah. It's got smoke.
Yeah.
Smoke shooting up from the stage.
Yeah,
the lights, they're coming out to fucking ovations like they're WWE stars. It's so douchey, I can't even explain it to you.
Yeah, that was like...
What are you doing?
It's more like a stand-up bit than a political statement.
Oh.
That's the problem.
So bad. So classless. So, and the intent is good, and I understand you're trying to get young people, 5,000 young people, younger people, is that what they're into? Maybe I'm just an old man.
Yeah.
But, when you've got the smoke tubes, like your team's coming out fucking to start dude, it's just.
Your walk-up music.
Yes. They had walk-up music.
Exactly. I know it.
So bad. So bad.
Speaking of the church stuff, did you happen to see that video of that bishop getting jacked on his live stream?
Got punched?
No, he got robbed.
No.
He's somewhere in New York, I believe it was. He's one of those super flashy bishop, I think they called him. The black pastor, or whatever. So I guess he had become famous not too long ago. There was some incident on like a subway or something where he stepped up and tried to negotiate with a whack job or whatever. I don't know the whole backstory of it.
Right.
But so he does like a live streaming service, so it's just him on at a pedestal?
Dais?
No,
Dais?
the fucking thing with a microphone.
Yeah,
What do you
pedestal.
call it? Pedestal? It seemed like there's a different word. I'm
Yeah,
missing.
there is.
There is. What the hell do you call it?
Doesn't
Podium.
matter.
Podium.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
with a thing on. Anyway, so he's just sitting there doing his thing, right? And it's probably assume Sunday morning, whatever, doing his live stream. All of a sudden, the camera just swings left a little bit, and he just drops down and lays down on the ground, and two guys with masks and guns walk in and just rob him of $400,000 of jewelry that he was wearing at the time.
Good.
Yeah, there's a guy that's like his engineer that when they move the camera is just onto him. He's just sitting there, just watching it all go down.
Yeah.
They go in, they just take
No
all
one
his
helped
shit.
out?
Nothing. They just walk in, take all his shit, and just walk out.
What happens? Sorry.
I love you see more and more of those videos of people sitting there like in their car, like flashing all their cash, doing their little live stream videos,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden they get jacked. Gun comes in the side of
Yeah.
the window, like, yo, I'll take that. Like, whoa.
I saw some video this morning that was going around. I think it was New York City as well. And two guys in a car, and there's a dude on the street, and they just fucking smash into this guy, flips up over the car, he's laying on the pavement. They stop, get out, clear his pockets of everything, and then take off. We are
Fucking
so
society. We are. We're totally
just-
screwed. We are absolutely fucked as a
But it's
society.
New York. We need to get those guys back out on the streets if they're ever caught or even looked for.
Right? That guy probably got a jaywalking ticket.
Yeah.
Had to pay for the damage to the car.
Couple more I wanted to get to. This. Thank you to AA Ron sent me this. He's like, you got to read this fucking story.
A-Train.
A train coming through big.
All right.
Whenever Erica Brownsell took her 2-year-old Barnaby, how do we feel
Barnaby
about the name?
Brownsell.
Barnaby Brownsell. Now, this is an international story, so this isn't in America.
Still. Barnaby
Barnaby?
Brownsell, that's what you went with?
Yeah.
All right.
I,
Hey,
landing on Barney as a name, or now Barnaby.
maybe it's a family name. Who are we to say?
Yeah. So whenever she brings 2-year-old Barnaby to the play area, other parents would ask why a child his size was still drinking from a bottle. A stranger remarked that he looked like a little man. Said some people had called him a Viking or Samson because of his muscular build.
Dude just
Yeah.
yoked.
But it was only after Brownsell saw pubes around Barnaby's sizable dong that
Apparently
she
not
got
two.
seriously worried. I knew it wasn't normal, the 43-year-old mom told Insider, noting that her toddler resembled a 4 or 5-year-old. He'd have massive, this is the article, not me. He'd have massive, sustained erections, and his height and weight were off the charts.
Oh my God.
This kid's got a gigundous cock, and he's
Yeah.
2. And pubes.
Well, is he really? Is he really two?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
He weighed 26 pounds. Yeah, it's crazy how this happened, and this is going to happen more, I suspect.
All right.
He weighed 26 pounds at the age of 1 and put on over 2 pounds every month between the ages of 12 and 18 months. It wasn't fat, just muscle. Dr. Tony Hulse was somewhat baffled when he was consulted in March. Blood work showed that Barnaby had an abnormally high level of testosterone, as much as a grown man, when it should be negligible for a boy his age. He also had the bone density of a four and a half year old child. Tests ruled out the most common causes, such as endocrine tumor or congenital disorder that affects the adrenal glands. Nobody seemed to know what was going on. Then one of Hulse's colleagues made a suggestion. She wondered whether Barnaby had been exposed to long periods of artificial testosterone treatment meant for adults.
Okay.
Yeah. Hulse emailed Brown Cell to ask if he'd ever come into contact with the medication. My husband had been using testosterone gel for several years, explaining that Barnaby's father, Peter, was born with a complex testicular condition.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That's not toothpaste.
They were shocked to learn that the generous amount Dad was just
Lathering
this
Well,
shit
yeah.
on.
I mean, and who can blame him?
Yeah.
Yeah, more is better, especially if you got a ball problem. Yeah.
Fuck yeah. He would generous amounts of this topical gel that he applied every day may have caused Barnaby's issues. I spent 2 years of my life thinking that I was protecting and taking care of him when in fact his own environment was contaminated. Bullshit. You made the Hulk, dude.
Yeah, right?
What are you complaining about here?
You think maybe he was so self-conscious about his own ball bag that he was putting it on his kid to make sure that he didn't have it?
No. I think he's just holding his baby and shit.
Right, getting it on
You
there.
know what I mean?
All right.
According to Brown Cell, her husband uses the product Androgel. Okay, there's a different name for it in the UK, but it's irrelevant. Androgel for people here. On his skin to help correct the testosterone deficiency, Dr. Benjamin Wosu told the Insider that the absorption of testosterone gel or cream typically applied to the upper arms and shoulders is never complete. There's some testosterone left on the skin, even hours after the application. Family members and other individuals who have close contact with a male patient are at risk of direct exposure. The testosterone gel gets into the bloodstream even when the patient wears clothing. Studies have shown that even if you cover the site with a T-shirt, 40 to 48% of the hormone can be transferred.
Oh, my God. Really?
Yeah.
Through a shirt?
Yes.
Holy shit.
The high levels are particularly dangerous to children because they can enter puberty years before their peers. Well, if that's the only danger, so he's got hair in his balls.
And would this still be a problem if this was a young lady they were trying to transition and you were just lathering her up with some T-gel?
Well, it sounds like that's all you need to do. Yeah. Dude, if I had a kid right now, I'd be slathering that shit on him. Dude,
We're going to get you in the NFL at 12, man.
He's two with massive sustained erections. Yes, please. Yes, my son. I want my son to have massive sustained erections and pubes.
Just a giant
Giant bush on
busted out of the diaper. His diaper keeps popping off because he gets a boner and busts the elastic strips off.
takes a shit and blows a load at the same time. Dude, like women in the 70s bikinis with a bush coming out the sides. That's what his diaper looks like.
You got to change it when he shits, change it when he pisses, and change it when he comes.
Oh, yeah. The symptoms, he said, include acne, pubic and underarm hair, and oversized reproductive organs. I'm sold. If you had a son, you're neglecting your son if you don't do this.
You can handle a little back knee if you got a giant cock to go along with it.
Yeah.
It's the opposite of steroids where your cock shrivels up and you got the back knee.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Brownsville said she and her artist spouse took turns caring for Barnaby while the other worked. The father frequently watched him in the mornings. His shift would begin after he applied the androgel, before describing the 65-year-old father as a hands-on dad.
Oh, I bet he was.
Okay, dad's fucking popping out kids at 63? All right.
Well, the gel's obviously working.
Like the way this guy's doing.
All right.
Yeah. The physician strongly advises, and I disagree with this physician completely. I think I would ignore
their
this
opinion.
advice. Yeah, his opinion, right? Physician who strongly advises people to use disposable gloves when they apply the gel said he was relieved to tell Barnaby's parents that his chronological age would eventually catch up with his body. He explained the boy's testosterone levels would return to normal now that his dad had switched to testosterone injections. That's a fail, dude. This is a great opportunity for us to figure out what happens to a 2-year-old who's jacked up, who you get on testosterone. Do it for life. Who knows? This kid could be 16 and just
Yeah,
be
you never
like,
know. Yeah, we already started down this road. We may as well continue and see where it gets us.
right.
I mean, I don't see why not.
Yeah. Even if it shortens his life, he's going to outlive his fucking dad. His
Right.
dad's 63 already.
His hog's already bigger than his dad's. What's the downside here?
Barnaby will stop growing so rapidly. Adding the problem was caught relatively early, and hopefully it won't have done any long-term damage. Well, that's a terrible disappointment.
There's no way.
To see he's
this
getting
kid
muscles,
start-
straight muscle and huge dong.
Yeah. And then he's going to get all weird and like disproportionate.
Yeah.
And then he's going to hit puberty again. It's going to be like disappointing. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
they're really doing this kid a disservice.
Yeah, they've dropped the ball on this one. This is bad.
You got to break a few eggs to make an omelet.
Yeah.
And this is a terrible accident, but
Yep.
a real opportunity.
Would you even consider hearing the details of that story?
Yeah.
If you had a kid and it was a boy,
Give it a shot?
make the Incredible Hulk, dude.
I don't know.
Just a little bit. Just a little.
No, I wouldn't. No,
little-
not.
You don't want to give your kid the advantage of having a giant dong.
Not. I wouldn't let him be the first. If there were, maybe a few proven cases out there, right?
Barnaby's not good enough for you.
That's only two.
Barnaby's all
I don't
the
know.
evidence I need.
I don't know what happens here. He could turn into that might be Sasquatch by the time he's 15. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I don't know where this goes. I'm not going to base it just on that. I need some long-term data.
Yeah. Unless Barnaby's parents are just full of shit and he's actually a 7-year-old.
Right? Maybe.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. They're just grooming him
I
for
don't think
sports.
so.
He's gonna be the Little League MVP 9 years running.
Dude, you accidentally walked into this situation where you created a superhuman.
Yeah.
What a shame.
Interesting.
What an absolute shame. Let that go.
Yeah. It would be interesting to see how far that goes, where it ends up.
Yeah.
It's Barnaby though.
Barnaby. Yeah. All right, let's do an email or two and get out of here.
Sure.
Bruce Springsteen tickets. Bruce Springsteen's tickets are so expensive because it is a different way to raise money for the Democratic Party. Watch, this will be the case. One of your biggest fans, figuratively and literally. So I imagine Doug is large.
All right.
Oh, no, I hadn't thought about that. I don't know why Bruce would need to,
Raise money.
yeah, for the Democratic Party to the tune of $4,000 to $5,000 per ticket.
Yeah, he ain't giving up that fucking money, man. No way.
Yeah, you don't think so?
I don't think so.
Yeah. Well, he's one of the woker of the wokes. So,
Who wrote? Who was that?
Doug.
Doug. Just a little one.
Jane Seymour.
Okay. All right. Come at me. Come at me, bro.
That's the mom from Wedding Crashers. Yeah, she's a 12, but how the fuck did Troy remember her as Dr. Quinn medicine woman and not Vince Vaughn calling Owen Wilson a motorboat and son of a bitch?
Yeah. Well, that too.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to place that scene.
Oh, the mom, Christopher Walken's wife, Stage 5 Klinger's mom.
Yeah, okay.
She's.
Did he say that she's a motorboat and son of a bitch?
Because her tits are all out, and then
Yeah.
she comes at Owen Wilson. And he asked her if she was built for comfort or speed.
Yeah.
She's like, "Did you get in there, you motorboat and son of a bitch?" Yeah.
Thanks for
yeah.
bringing her up, though. She's
reference.
unbelievable.
Yes, strong. Okay, good. I thought I was going to get crushed for that, but nice to have the support.
You've got the support.
Indeed.
You are getting support.
But yeah, that's probably a more topical reference, but for whatever reason, I go back to the Dr. Quinn medicine woman.
Yeah. Hey, whatever popped in your head.
But that was her prime.
Yeah, yeah. All right, let's call it a day.
Sure.
There. Thank you, everybody, for hanging with us. I'm such an idiot. I didn't even mention radiofor1.com. Merch available.
I got my reads in. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I know. I'm an idiot. Well, I thought about it a few minutes ago, and it's like, ugh, okay. I need a reminder. Start throwing darts at me or spitballs at me or something. Like, take one in the glasses, and then I'll remember. radiofor1.com. Amazon link, Amazon Canada, all that stuff. You know the drill. I will mention it early on tomorrow. So have a great rest of the day, everybody. We will be back tomorrow. We'll see you then.